could lead to a life term in prison. So yeah, he is facing some very serious charges.
What up, guys? Good morning. I hope everybody's doing really well. We got a big day. I'm going to do a quick video. We're just going to go over some crypto news with developing stories. Okay, Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas. He's awaiting extradition back to the United States. The day before, he was supposed to give testimony in a congressional hearing. He was arrested. There is a sealed indictment in New York. It will be unsealed today, from what I'm hearing. We do know some of the charges are conspiracy to commit wire and securities fraud and money laundering.
Earlier this evening, Bahamian authorities arrested Samuel Bankman-Fried at the request of the U.S. government based on a sealed indictment filed by the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning, and we'll have more to say at that time.
We also have some news that the Department of Justice may be filing charges against Binance and CZ for money laundering. And we'll take a look at some of the crypto prices, crypto market cap, and crypto bubbles, and just some other crypto news.
And Lisa, the headline that's just come through in just the last couple of minutes for those who's just tuning in. Samuel Bankman-Fried, charged with defrauding investors by the SEC.
The criminal charges include wire fraud, conspiracy, securities fraud, conspiracy, and yet the indictment, according to the NYT, only one person is charged. Are we waiting for other names to come out?
Now, this is a big day for the stock market and all markets as well. The CPI data report comes out, and if inflation for headline and core, which is supply and demand, comes down, that will be 2 months in a row and have a small trend now going in the right direction, showing that the Fed aggressive rate hikes have been working. Smart money will want to get their money in. The darkest days will be behind us. The beginning of the up phase will start. And just to remind you, in the recession in 2008 through 2013, the market did bottom in 2009, and smart money got an extra 3 years of gains. Now, it would be bumpy and it will be long, but there will be more up than down if there is a second report of inflation trending down. If the inflation goes up and it shows the rate hikes still need to be aggressive and it has not worked, expect at least another month of the market to decline. And we got to keep an eye on what's going to happen with the FTX situation. Regulators are coming in hot and heavy. Hopefully they're not too hasty. Don't stifle innovation and stop the usage of trading and custody and investing in crypto in the United States.
What we should look back when it comes to how Washington has treated this individual, and he's talked about this, saying, you know, maybe if I give some more money to some lawmakers, they're a little bit more quick to pick up the phone and speak to me. Open Secrets has tallied it, and when it came to the 2022 midterm election cycle, for the Democrats, he was donor number 2 after George Soros. I had mentioned this yesterday because this was millions of dollars to the Democratic Party. And a few individuals were saying that's not fair. He also gave to Republicans. That is true. He did give to both sides of the aisle, but it was millions to Democrats and it was thousands to Republicans.
A lot of people were hurt. A lot of people. Retail, big money, politicians have egg on their face. Even the SEC and the CFTC have a little egg on their face too. So this situation with FTX is really bad in my opinion. I actually feel a little bit more at ease personally that he is arrested.
What do you make of the timing of this? That this is all taking place, that authorities are stepping in right before Congresswoman Maxine Waters has her big day of testimony on Capitol Hill.
It's interesting. I was taking a quick look here at all the people on this committee alone, by the way, that took money from SBF. It's a super awkward situation, absolutely. And you wonder if they're going to be giving any of that money back. So to their point, I think whether you're a lawmaker or a regulator here, you have to wonder how this had happened.
I can't imagine with the interviews that he's been having and the things he's been saying that if this was not a Ponzi scheme and there was no commingling and there was no misuse of user funds, then simply it would have shown up in the bankruptcy filings and users could get their money back. There needs to be audit, and this needs to be investigated thoroughly through the blockchain on every single transfer, in my opinion. But people need clarity, people need healing, and these are the two topics we really need to pay attention to start seeing markets go up. I do believe wholeheartedly that if inflation comes down, that we will just be at the very beginning part of markets starting to go up. Crypto and the regulation, it's a wild card. I do not know. I don't think anybody knows. But we're going to find out and be watching that because it's very important to everybody. So let's get started. Saying all that, welcome to the wheelhouse. So let's take a peek real quick at the cryptocurrency prices by market cap. Right now it's at 847.57 billion. It's up a little bit since yesterday. It's kind of been fluctuating up and down. The stock market's been going sideways. Crypto market's just been going sideways. Everything is pending on these two topics, the inflation data report, as well as more data on this developing story with FTX. So you can see, Bitcoin is at 17,163, Ethereum's 1265. BNB's at 263. Doge is almost at 9 cents. Cardano is about 30 cents. Matic is 88 cents. Polkadot 507. Like I said, most stuff is just going sideways. Since the last time I looked, Solana is actually down to 12.95. It was as high as the low 14s, I believe, and it's been staying around where it's at and in the $13 range for a while. So yeah, today's a big day, finding out what's going to happen. No matter what, if inflation does come down, markets are going to go up, even crypto, pending all this information. Now, if the hearings on Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX today stir up a lot of fear in the markets, crypto might suffer and come down a bit. However, if it's not too crazy on what's said and we do get good inflation data, I would think that stocks and crypto will both go up. So it's, you got to look at both situations and both pieces of data independently and then separate the two markets, that they're not correlated, because there could be variables along the way that make certain things go up and certain things to go down, or everything up. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Let's look at the crypto bubbles real quick. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. There's not that much green out there right now. I think everybody's just waiting for today to get the information. I'm filming it the night before, so I don't have the information yet, but as soon as that does come out, I am really looking forward to making you guys a really nice technical analysis video, taking a look at the charts, because there will be movement, there will be momentum, and there will be things to talk about in the technicals once we get this data. So hopefully the sideways action is over, and hopefully the data is good and we start moving up. Okay, so let's take a look at this article. It says right here, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried arrested, set to be extradited to the US. Royal Bahamas police have arrested SBF at the request of the US government, based on a sealed indictment. So the New York Times reported December 12th that the charges against Bankman-Fried include wire and securities fraud, conspiracy to commit wire and securities fraud, and money laundering. The U.S. will likely request the extradition of Sam Bankman-Fried. And apparently, hours before he was arrested, Sam Bankman-Fried denied being part of wire fraud chat group. Sam Bankman-Fried's last tweet before his arrest for allegedly committing wire fraud was denying his involvement in a group chat called Wire Fraud. And here it says, it's stacking up. SEC to file separate charges against FTX Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried has finally been slapped with criminal charges and will be extradited to the US. Once there, he'll have to face separate charges from the SEC. The legal troubles are mounting for Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced founder of crypto exchange FTX. Now, even though he's going to face charges by the SEC and also the Department of Justice in the United States, he also has investigations going on in South Korea, Singapore, Japan, other countries as well. So he's looking at the rest of his life serving terms somewhere or the other, unless somehow he's found not guilty. And right here it says the United States Department of Justice is split over charging Binance in the 2018 AML investigation. Binance has faced compliance warnings from many countries over the past couple of years, but it managed to overcome those shortcomings in most nations, barring the US. The United States Department of Justice is nearing the completion of its investigation into cryptocurrency exchange Binance, which started in 2018. A report from Reuters suggests there is a conflict among U.S. prosecutors over whether the gathered evidence is enough to press criminal charges against the crypto exchange and its executive or not.
After weeks of speculation that FTX's client funds were misused before the crypto exchange collapsed, Shonali Basak, our global finance correspondent, joins us now in Washington, D.C., where she'll be covering the FTX hearings. At this point, it looks like, Shonali, without SBF.
We do have FTX CEO John Ray slated to speak today at the House committee. And remember, as we know, SBF himself, Sam Bankman-Fried, was slated to speak virtually this afternoon. We know that Maxine Waters, the chairman of the committee, had said also that him not being there might not allow a lot of consumers here to get the information they would have gotten if he were to testify under oath. But with that said, we will get a lot more information today as well, Matt. We are waiting for the unsealing of an indictment from the Southern District of New York. It's something that we have said that we would be expecting, according to Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney here. We also know that the SEC has its own civil case as well, and so authorities themselves may provide more information. And as we know, the testimony of the new CEO, John Ray, has also indicated that there are certain things that FTX had done, particularly the commingling here of funds, that they had alleged here in not just the bankruptcy filings, but also in the testimony that we expect him to give today to the House.
Well, and also the lawyers here in the U.S. are claiming that the Bahamas had asked Sam Bankman-Fried to mint new coins before he was blocked from FTX systems. Shonali, what do you make of that story and the idea that he perhaps minted millions of dollars worth of digital coins and then transferred those tokens to control of island officials?
I think it's an interesting question here because we know that the Bahamas here is working on an extradition treaty. We know that they have arrested him last night, according to the Royal Bahamas Police, but they also said in their statement here that they are going to continue its own regulatory and criminal investigations when it comes to Sam Bankman-Fried. So we know there's a few things going on here at the same time. We knew earlier in this bankruptcy process there was some concerns about jurisdiction, but now as the U.S. is filing criminal charges here, and according to the New York Times, that includes wire fraud, it includes conspiracy of wire fraud. So we know here that there is some sense of the two nations really working together when it comes to Sam Bankman-Fried, but the Bahamas itself, especially in light of that story, Kaylee, is still pursuing its own investigations.